space in the world right now where people are really focused on mental health. And for me, that was one thing that I really dove into and really tried to wrap my mind around that. And I've taken time to, like, seeing a therapist and things like that, just trying to test every avenue to make sure that I'm mentally and emotionally in the best place I could possibly be in. So, seeing therapists and, just getting more in touch with my own personal feelings and getting a awareness of who I am as a person, and just, dealing with like different things like generational trauma and things that maybe not your own personal trauma, but things that have been passed on along the years from, from your father or his father's father, things like that. And I think it was one of those things I started really kind of putting my mind toward, and, talking with my therapist and things like that. It just really kind of has enlightened me on how, this generational trauma and how these hidden things can affect us and impact us, as far as just being a competitor, as far as that, and being a father and a husband. So yeah, during this time, man, I've really dove into, getting better mentally and emotionally, and just trying to make sure that, I don't make mistakes that I did in the past,
What sort of mistakes, if you don't mind me asking?
Just some of the things as far as my attitude and the way I approach some things, as far as the politics of this sport. I think looking back on things, you start realizing that you stepped outside of yourself. You lost track of who you are as a person, especially when you have a success and this thing is moving over here and this piece is moving over here, and you want to have control of everything. And you start to lose track of what brought you to the party, what brought you to the dance, and you start doing other things outside of that. And for me, I started trying to find the answers and deciding that, I can make the answer. I've got the answer. And I just started digging a hole a little bit deeper than where I was, and physically I was able to compete as a fighter, but mentally and emotionally, I just felt like I was somewhere else for a long time. And, really having to step back and having this time to step back and really realize that, hey, you mentally and emotionally were not in a good place. I was dealing with a great deal of depression that I didn't realize. And it just manifested itself in different ways, which I think happens a lot. So during this time, I've just, almost reintroducing myself to myself. So that's kind of some of the things that I wish I would have known back then, that I was, you're battling against maybe some type of family things, family traits and family generational traumas and things like that. And they tend to block you in your everyday life. And you can't figure out why you're mentally blocking yourself or emotionally blocking yourself. So I've taken that time to really focus on, like, all right, well, why was I feeling this way? And why was I reacting this way? And I've been able to address some of those things.